What's a luxury that most Americans don't realize is a luxury? As an American who now lives abroad, air conditioning. Libraries. The American public library system is very advanced. It's also, generally speaking, free to use. A lot of people don't realize how many free resources it has, either free adult learning classes, child-friendly events like readings and story time, meditation and wellness classes and rooms, classes teaching old people how to use the internet, job training classes like how to prep resumes and interviews, second language training for immigrants like free English classes. Libraries are such an incredible resource. It's so sad so many are closing. Regular street sweeping. You won't notice it until you go somewhere without it. We essentially bathe in drinking water. I'm shitting in it right now. And water our grass with drinking water. We fight fires with some of the purest water on earth. Never thought about it this way. Shit. Garbage collection. This and sewage are the two biggest things most of the developed world takes for granted, in my opinion. Without these two things, we'd live in a much stinkier and more disease-filled environment. When I traveled a little bit, one of the things that struck me most was the amount of garbage in the streets and piled in fields. No municipal collection in that part of the world. Air conditioning. I live in Atlanta and honestly don't know how anyone settled in this place without it. I'd always see the trope of guys in full white suits sitting on their porch with a fan and a cold lemonade, and that wouldn't do it. I think a lot of people do realize AC is a luxury. I think being able to go to a grocery store and buy anything you want is a luxury, and I think it's a luxury a lot of people take for granted. Controlling the temperature of your home to whatever you want. The 24th of July 365. Most other developed countries are either good at heating or good at AC, but rarely both. Dryers that actually dry clothes. Free unlimited water at restaurants. My folks traveled the world quite a bit and said that they were amazed every time they returned to the US that there is or was a couple decades ago clean water out of almost every tap or readily available nearby, and that we all didn't realize how incredible and rare that was on this planet, that we just take it for granted. The ability to use restrooms without charge. And being able to flush toilet paper. Not to mention having it provided for you in public restrooms. Stocked grocery stores, 24-hour electricity, police and medical help a phone call away. Backyards. Even if it's small, a patch of land attached to your residence that no one but you has access to is something most people in cities in East, Southeast, and South Asia can only dream of. The ability to buy anything you can think of, and buying online arrives in less than a week, often in 2 or 3 days. A lot of countries just don't have the access to big box stores or infinite option online merchants. Electricity. I deployed to a few countries in Africa, seeing young groups of kids studying at night using the street corner lights. Grocery stores. I didn't even realize it myself. I mean, they're such a common, everyday thing until a friend of mine from overseas, what you could call a third world country, I don't even remember what the reason was now. She was military, so probably something to do with that, and I met up with her. We went to a grocery store for something or another and she was flabbergasted. She was just amazed that you could walk into a huge store and food was like everywhere. LOL. I assured her it was no big deal, but she insisted it was. It's not as if she was from a starving country or anything, but their grocery store is just a local, tiny, corner store type shop where they stock a few basics. So yeah, for some people, walking into a store like Publix is a huge shock. Look up the story of Nikita Khrushchev's and later Boris Yeltsin's visit to the United States and its grocery stores. Neither of them believed the access regular people had to food and products. Yup, Mikhail Gorbachev thought the grocery store he went to in D.C. was a CIA psyop, so he sent spies to grocery stores across America and they were shocked to discover that they were real, and they were all like that. Gorbachev admitted that this is what made him lose faith in communism. I had a friend in college who was Cuban. He was the first in his family born in the US. Somehow, they got his grandmother out of Cuba and she came to live with them. He missed classes for a couple of weeks to help getting her settled. When Git got back, I asked him why he needed so long and he said that she had a nervous or emotional breakdown. After the first week, his grandmother was eager to go out and explore her new city. The first place they took her was to a grocery store to see if they could get things to make her favorite home dishes. When they walked in, she froze in place for a minute and just started crying. She started muttering something like it's too much over and over. It's been 20 years, it's a little faded. She either collapsed or fainted or something from all of it, and they had to have EMS come check her out. Apparently, she immediately thought of her home stores and just couldn't handle that she was seeing more food than she's ever seen in her life. Then she started feeling sad for everyone back in Cuba and guilty that she got to see the food and not them. And it all just got to be too much. It was months before she was ready to go into a grocery again. I remember him saying she had a similar thing when they took her to a Walmart. I've seen a few videos of other people's first time in US grocery stores, and after hearing them describe what they grew up with, it is a little absurd how convenient it really is. Many of us live in large, comfortable homes with heat and air conditioning. That's a luxury in many areas of the world. My mom grew up in a house in India that's smaller than my living room. 11 people and a couple of my mom's nieces and nephews occasionally went there for a wedding. When I was 7 and there were 25 of us staying there. That was considered a big house. My aunt in Bombay lived in a flat that is the same size as an average American kitchen. When we'd stay there, there'd be 10 of us. Traveling to other countries, most countries visa-free. As someone who lives in a developing country, the hassle, the frustration, the cost of applying for a visa just to travel to countries is excruciating. As a Canadian, I'm always blown away by how cheaper gas is in the US. Although on my recent trip it was similar to Canadian prices, but in normal times it's usually way cheaper. And I always found it funny when you'd see news reports of people complaining about gas prices when they'd have no idea about how more expensive it is everywhere else in the world. The freedom to speak openly about your political and personal beliefs, no matter how stupid or uninformed they are. Washing machines. Until the 1940s, when better electric machines and detergents were available, a lot of time and energy was spent cleaning clothes. Some people say the washing machine is the greatest invention of the Industrial Revolution. Studies from universities say a washing machine may have done more for women's liberation than abortion pills or contraceptive. Unless you truly live in the middle of nowhere, access to good Mexican food is basically guaranteed. My roommate is Australian, and when he explains to people here that there is no Mexican food in Australia, it's like their brains can't comprehend it. To be fair, we are in Southern California, so we have some of the best Mexican food, plus Mexico itself is right there. Traveling to other countries without an approved visa. This needs to be higher up. People with weak passports spend months and hundreds of dollars applying for the travel visas, which Americans just have. We think the process of getting and renewing a passport is obnoxious. It's nothing in comparison to getting a visa, especially if you are from a country with political unrest or a high poverty rate. There's a lot of not unwarranted skepticism that vacation travelers are really illegal immigrants. In the early 2000s, I asked a refugee from Somalia what if she liked it here. She said yes. What's your favorite thing? I said, if my house starts on fire, I can call 911 and someone will come put it out. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Municipal and emergency services really are an overlooked luxury. Some parts of this country don't even have it fully, so I can't imagine a place where there isn't infrastructure for any of it. Some places have volunteer depths or a landfill, and you gotta drive the trash there yourself, but there's still infrastructure for it here in this country. I just put a can out and my trash disappears. If there's an emergency, I'll only have someone to call but it's gonna be a trained person responding, not just Joe from the village, no offense to Joe. Political efficacy. We as Americans really do have the ability to use our votes to make changes and make a difference. However, the majority of Americans don't educate themselves on local, state, and federal issues and only vote once every 4 years. This leads that same majority to feel like they have no say in the politics of this nation. So many people only vote in a presidential election, yet the votes for your local officials, mayor, sheriff, city council, school board members, etc., have a much larger impact on your day-to-day life. You have a say in how your community runs and who's in charge. Single-family homes instead of apartments being considered the typical middle-class home. Having a yard in your home. Instead of just a balcony to hang out outside during the day, having a garage in your home. Instead of public parking, a room within a room that's used as a closet. Instead of buying a wardrobe, all rooms have AC. You do not need to install it. Drive into everywhere, even in pharmacies and banks. No single exceptions to the stand your ground laws, not even for people who need a shortcut by crossing through a property. Nope. One's property is just untouchable, period. Being able to get insulin. As much as the cost of it sucks, it's still available at all. I haven't missed a single day of taking it in over 41 years. It's why I'm not dead. Government-funded dialysis care. I'm not on dialysis, but I used to work in the field for years. If you need it, you get it. Without those 3 to 4 hour treatments a week, those people would die. Lack of actual wars in our country for over a century has been pretty nice too. Currency that doesn't devalue every other month. The privilege of having the world's reserve currency is really the unmatched privilege no other country enjoys. Fresh fruit from around the world every day of the year. Eating out. The average number of meals prepared at home versus consumed in restaurants tilted in favor of restaurants despite them being less affordable. Socks, like really nice socks. Internet. I'm not sure if you meant actual Americans, North Americans, or just the Western world in general. A lot of these things aren't unique to America. Toilet paper, drinkable water, etc. I'm sure other Westerners take this for granted, too. One thing that I think every American takes for granted is our national parks. Some of nature's most beautiful and completely untouched areas are in the US. And we vote in politicians, but try to steal historic land and spend thousands to take our families to the theme parks they put in its place. People obeying traffic signals. Guy I used to work with who was from an African country, I cannot recall this, was 15 plus years ago, said one of the most surprising things he saw when he immigrated was that people actually obeyed traffic lights. He said where he came from they were treated more like mild suggestions. As a Mexican who born in USA but lived in Mexico almost all my life, I will say a lot of things are a luxury in America, but Mexico can't go even close to that. First, a car can be the simple thing ever, but another people can't handle. AC is a huge thing here, but in Mexico, so luxury have it, really expensive. Having more than 2 TVs, dude. Even how often can a family eat steak in USA? I will give a whole list about how America is more easier have stuff than in other countries, even the most simple thing like doing nails. Extreme stuff is taking showers with buckets. A lot of people do not have access to regular showers or even have a refrigerator is a luxury in Latin countries. The public education system, like having the ability to go to a school that's covered by taxes, sure, it's not perfect and there's always issues, but there are many people throughout the world that have never had this sort of opportunity that I think we in wealthier nations often take for granted. The single-family home. The vast majority of people live in apartments or row houses, townhouses. This is a hot take, but the healthcare. I was born in Europe and have a lot of family still there. In Europe, my aunt got cancer. When she needed scans, the wait was counted in months. The hospital was terrible. More like a prison with old outdated equipment. This is in a big cosmopolitan European city, not some podunk town. My wife got cancer in the US. When she needed a scan, it was ordered by the doctor and she was headed down within the hour. Her room was like a 5-star hotel. Sure, in Europe it was free, but you get what you pay for. Here my insurance covered all of this amazing care. Once I paid the $2,500 a year in deductibles, everything was free last that point. My aunt passed, my wife is alive and thriving. Thanks for watching. Share your stories in the comments.